Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Embracing Life in Issaquah. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel. I'm here with your host, as always, Rebecca Scott. Hello, Rebecca Scott. Hello. I like the scarf today. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Looking
it's
good.
Not bright and sunny out today, so I needed a little brightness and cheery.
There you go. You got it right there. I love it.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. Well, we're talking about, self-care today. Self-care is always good. That's a popular topic lately.
It is, and I think it's a popular topic for good reason. It's important.
Yeah. I think we're waking up to the importance of it. I think for a long time, we're like, let's just go, go, go. And I think there's enough people talking about self-care now that we're like, self-care, maybe I should look into that.
Yes. Well, I think it's so easy that, whether you're a parent or just busy with, life, it's easy to, in our society in particular, I think, to just go, 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 go.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to forget. And then I think we can run ourselves ragged,
What are some of the excuses or the things we say to ourselves that we like? I'm too busy is an obvious one. What other things do you think people say that like prevent them from self-care? Like
too busy, too tired.
I'll do it next week.
Yep.
What else?
Procrastinator.
Yeah.
Which I am queen of.
Nice. I don't deserve it. I don't know. I mean, that starts to get a little bit more under the surface of it, but I don't know that people say I don't deserve it, but maybe they're like, I haven't done enough for it yet. Right. Like, or just a couple more weekends or a couple more things and then I can do it, which is like rewards based.
Yep.
As if we have to do enough things in order to deserve it,
Yes. No, I would agree. The concept of the kind of like not good enough, for me, that one doesn't show up. It really is that what you're saying in a nutshell, if I'm honest with myself.
Sure.
But in the moment, it doesn't show up quite like that. So for example, so for self-care, and that can encompass a whole lot of things.
Oh yeah.
My focus today is I wanted to share with people, the fabulous fitness finds in Issaquah, right? Where can you go? Because part of self-care is fitness, both mental fitness and physical fitness, right?
Yeah.
And so one of the places that I love to go is the Sammamish Family YMCA. And there is a Zumba class there. There's actually a few different classes one of them is technically Zumba, and then there's a few others that are similar, but they're not specifically called Zumba, but choreographed music, and you're doing moves and things, so on and so forth. And on the lines of like not being good enough, I am drawn to the music because I love music. I've always loved music and movement.
Yeah.
And graceful movement is not my gift. So where I'm going with it is that like I will choose not to do those classes because of kind of not feeling good enough. Right?
Sure, yeah.
Versus, screw it. The music's great, and I want to give it a try, and I don't care if I look like a goofball. I'm going to get in there and do it. So I've been working on that and pushing my comfort zone and getting into that, and they're fun, right?
Yeah.
And yes, I totally look like I have two left feet. And so what? Because you know what I found is nobody like gives me like funny side eye. Nobody glares at me. Nobody says anything nasty.
Right.
And by getting in there and doing it, I start to like recall how to move somewhat rhythmically and get into it and then have fun, because then I can do the movements and the exercises with even more gusto to get even the better like muscle isolation training that's intended from those kinds of things.
That would really suck if you were at a class and somebody was like, roasting you in the middle of class. You suck.
I mean, And you know what? That does not happen.
It doesn't happen. Yeah, right.
You know, but that's the little negative Nelly in my head saying that that's going to happen, but that's not reality.
You know, you said go ahead. I'm sorry.
So it's just getting out there and forcing that comfort zone, I think, is also not only forcing that, is it good for me physically because I'm getting out there and moving, but it's also good from a self-care standpoint, from a mental self-care, because I'm pushing my boundaries and going, oh, what I thought was my limiting belief really didn't happen. Right?
Yeah.
And so then I extend my comfort zone in trying something new.
Yeah. I love that.
What were you going to say?
You use the word fun. And I think sometimes in self-care even sounds like work. Like, oh, I got to go take care of myself, or I have to go work, or working out, for example. It's like, oh, working out. But like, if I think about, like I love racquetball, I love playing basketball, but I never do those things. Like I actually will play those and I'll feel good. Like it's fun. And I think the whole intention of self-care is like that you feel revived, you feel taken care of, you feel energized. And, I think sometimes I don't think of that when I think of self-care or fitness.
Yeah. It's
sounds like work.
To think of fitness as work.
Right.
I think a lot of us do. And even this morning is a really good example of why, and it's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this, right? So this morning while I'm having my cup of coffee, I'm taking a few minutes and scrolling through Facebook, like a lot of us do these days, right?
Yeah, I did. I did that today.
Saw some posts of some friends who over the course of the weekend were out having fun together at a celebration. And it was a celebration that I wasn't privy to.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason this morning, it stung, that jabbed at me. And knowing the people, it was not that we're having the party. It wasn't anything malicious on their part, but it just, for a variety of reasons, it stung, and it kind of took the wind out of my sails, to be honest, this morning. And I was slated to go meet one of my best girlfriends at the Y this morning. And I almost canceled, right? Because I wasn't feeling it. The wind was out of my sails, and I didn't want to do the work, right. Of the self-care.
Yeah, right.
But I went anyways. And this is what I wanted to share, because I think we all can relate to having something happen that takes the wind out of our sails, and where our emotional reaction seems disproportionate to whatever the trigger was. And that certainly was the case for me this morning.
Yep.
And so I went anyways. I stuck with my plan anyways. And I went and I stretched. I did a lot of really good stretching for about 30 minutes because I'm working on some issues that I have post-surgery recovery with my hips and tight hips and hamstrings. So we did that for about 30 minutes, and then my girlfriend got there and we walked for 30 minutes and around the track because it was drizzly this morning. And so I put in a good solid hour of self-care. And not only was it good for my physical fitness, because I got my heart rate up with the walking. Yeah. I got my muscles and everything loosened up with the stretching. Yep. So my back, which hurt this morning, didn't hurt afterwards because I loosened everything up. Yeah. But then because we chose to walk the track today, that enabled us to be able to converse and share and connect. Yeah. And so by the end, when I was done, I felt better both physically and emotionally because I went and I did the work. Yeah. So good. So what I wanted to share with folks today is just that, where are fun places to stay fit and fabulous around Issaquah. And so I am a huge fan of the Sammamish Family Y. They have a very reasonable family membership. And it really appeals to all ages. My senior mother goes there, and she recently moved to Issaquah, and she got plugged in like that once she joined up, and she has created a whole new social network.
Nice.
After being widowed and kind of being in a new area. So it's been fabulous for her.
Wow.
But it's been fabulous for me in this season of being what is now dubbed a middle season mom, where I've got the kids that they're out of elementary, but they're still in the house. And so I'm in that middle season of mamahood. And it's a great place for us because our girls love going there. They can go do their thing while I do my thing, or my husband and I do our thing. Yeah. But it's also good for mamas who are and young families who are brand new to being families, because there's excellent child care.
Yeah.
Lots of classes and programming. So much is included. So big shout out to the Sammamish Family Y.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love YMCAs.
Other places that for indoor fitness finds, the 24-hour fitness is a Super 24, and it's a pretty nice facility. It's big. It's got lots of equipment. It is your more typical gym, but I find it pretty good, and it's got a really nice lap pool.
Oh, nice.
And then there is. I have not ever been a member, but I have a lot of friends who have been of the Golds in 24 hour, the Golds in Issaquah by Gilman.
Got it.
And that I've heard really great things about them. I haven't ever been into the facility, but I know lots of people who really love it. So those are kind of some of the indoor finds. But then there's so many great places to go hiking as well. There are trails throughout Issaquah Highlands, the Grand Ridge Trail. There's High Point up at Tiger Mountain. And then a new one that I discovered is Evans Creek Preserve, which isn't technically in Issaquah, but it spans Sammamish and Redmond, and you can get to it two different places, one off of Highway 202. Yeah. There's an entrance just by the Albertsons on 202, or there's also an entrance off of Sahali Way. Nice. So those are some of the fun, like, both indoor and outdoor places to go get your fitness fix.
Yeah, right. I suppose, I mean, I'm a golfer too, and I would imagine there's some good golf courses around.
Oh, definitely.
Up there, like Sahali, like is that public or is that private? Do you know?
Sahali is private.
Yeah.
I will confess, I don't know as much about the golf scene, although I'm very interested. So if anybody's got recommendations for me, I have some clubs and I'd really love to learn. I don't kind of know where to get started.
I know, right? Do you guys have a Top Golf over there? Is there a Top Golf in your area?
There isn't. There is rumors that a Top Golf is coming to the area.
Yeah, that's fun.
But it's still rumor. I don't know.
Yeah.
Those places are cool for sure.
Yeah, I know. Talking about like outdoor activities and fun things to do. That's the kind of self-care I can get behind. Yeah. That's so fun.
Definitely.
I want to say this too, on the heels of that, by the way, great. It's always nice, especially for people that aren't local, that are listening to this because they're checking out Issaquah. They're like, might want to move to Issaquah. They found your show somehow. Like, those are great. I just think those are great tips for people. But what I want to say about the thing about transparency, right? The thing about embracing life is, if you're really going to embrace life, I think you have to get super honest about the things that trigger you.
Yep.
And I think a lot of times we spend our lives, I'm just saying this personally, a lot of times we spend our lives living over the top of our triggers. We don't acknowledge the trigger. We move past the trigger. We don't even look for the gift of the trigger. We just are like, I don't have time for that. I'm moving on. Or I'm pissed off. That was stupid. I'm moving on. And we never unpack it for the lessons. We all have them. Like you said, like, we all have them.
Definitely.
And what I love that you're doing with your show is you're very generous to share first person to share transparently, your own triggers, but we all have them. And so, I feel like I'm sort of saying that protectively, like, look, if you're listening to this and you think you don't have a trigger, like we all have triggers, and the fact that you're willing to share that so that we all can just look for the lesson in it is, I think, incredible. Most people in real estate, let alone business or in life, would never share because it feels too scary to share our imperfections, right? Or the things that we feel like we shouldn't have. I shouldn't have a trigger. Okay, right. Well, welcome to humanity.
Exactly.
Right. Seriously. And whether it's a justified trigger or not isn't even the point, right? The point is like you get triggered by stuff and you don't even know why, and it shouldn't. Maybe you even feel like maybe I shouldn't have had that, but you did.
Yep.
And so now you get to look at it, and I think so I love the idea not only looking at it, but then the self-care too. That's takes care of it when it happens.
Well, thank you. And on that, like I had enough self-awareness to go, well, my emotional reaction is disproportionate to my to the situation.
Yeah.
That's kind of curious. And so I could have stayed in defeat, or I could have, or stick with my plan. And my plan was that I was supposed to go to the gym. And so I stuck with the plan. Yeah. And what I discovered is by sticking with the plan, I felt better physically. Right. Because I kept moving forward. I didn't bury the issue. I didn't say, oh, I'm not, but it actually provided mental space for me to think over my disproportionate reaction to the trigger. And have some curiosity around that to unpack and learn from it. And so I'm in a much better space now than I was earlier. And so I just wanted to share that with people, that that's part of the human experience. And I think it's something we all can relate to. And when you find yourself in those moments, remember self-care. Yeah. And a great way for that is through fitness.
I agree. Well, let's wrap with this. I mean, I would imagine, I would say this. I always would want to work with people who have that type of transparency or honesty. I know some people listening to this may be from out of town and are looking for a real estate agent to work with. Or even if people locally want to connect with you, they want to hear more about some of the different tips you have. Where can people go to connect with you?
Sure. Well, there's a few ways to connect with me. You can always call me. There should be a link on the Facebook page for my phone number, 425-395-4573. Cool. You also can check out more at RebeccaCuno.com. Okay. And at my website. Yep. Or you can connect with me through the Facebook page, Embracing Life in Issaquah.
So good. So many ways to do it. So that's it. You guys go to RebeccaCuno.com, check out some more there, or check her out on the Facebook page. Rebecca, thanks again for bringing the show to Issaquah, and I love this message. It's really good. I'll catch you next time.
Bye, everybody.